Okay, hello Marcela, how are you today?
Hello, teacher. So
Hello.
far, so good. What about you?
Okay, that's good. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So I'm happy to listen to you in this opportunity. And okay, hey, Javier is here. So hello, Javier, how are you today?
Hello, teacher. I can't complain. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for being here, guys. Well, first of all, thank you for coming on time. It's time to start our class. So in this moment, everybody, we are going to start with our activities. We will just wait a little moment for our classmates. I'm so happy, guys, that you came on time and that we are ready for our activities. Well, tell me, Javier, how was your day? What did you do today?
Well, my day was very good, and I had a lot of I had a lot of work in my business.
Oh, okay, I got it. And I'm really sorry because of it, okay? But I hope you can relax. Well, right now we are going to have classes, so after that, maybe you can relax, right?
After work today, I went to the gym
Okay,
because I really like to exercise.
okay, that's something nice. And how often do you go to the gym?
Um, well, on the week, 3 or 4 days.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you for sharing, Javier. And what about you, Marcela? How was your day? What did you do?
In my case, I done many activities. For example, I I've done homeworks at my university.
Okay, so what time do you have classes from university?
I take my class from 7 a.m. Until uh, 9 a.m.
Okay, well, so you have early schedule, but that's pretty good. Okay, so at least you have, well, you have more time during the day to do different activities. I think. Okay, that's good. Thank you for sharing, Marcela. Javier, we are going to start because you are the only two people here in the class. So everybody, thank you for being on time. Let's start with our class. Today, everybody, we will speak about different modals. But before we practice the use of modals, everybody, okay, let's think about the following situation. What do you need to survive in an island? If you could take some objects to an island, what would you like to take with you? For example, I consider that, well, some important things are water, of course, also food or some food, and maybe a knife. I don't know why, guys, but it could be something good to take with me. Okay? What about you, Marcela? What do you need to survive in an island?
Also, first I kit and clothes and some
And what? What was the last thing? The first aid kit, clothes, and what else, Marcela?
and I don't know. Let me think. And 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 cold.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. Okay, thank you for sharing the things that you think you will need in an island. Okay, very good. Let's see, Javier. Tell me about you. What do you need? to survive in an island? What do you think?
Well, I think get food, towels, maybe underwear,
Of course.
machete for drink coconut water.
Okay, pretty important material. So a long knife, okay, we could
and
say it. Uh-huh.
also fishing net.
Oh, yeah, that's something really nice. Okay. Those are good materials that you can take to an island. And they are really important. Okay. Now let's see. Okay. So you mentioned the long knife, towels. Okay. So those are really good. Okay. Let's see. Brian, hello. How are you today?
Hi, teacher.
Hi. How
Hi.
are you?
I'm fine. It's a good day. It's
Okay.
a,
That's pretty good. So thank you for sharing about it. Well, my question for you, Brian, is what do you need to survive in an island?
I think you need patterns and positive thoughts because everything is on the mind. You need to take it easy and very strong on the mind.
Okay, I like your attitude and your opinion. Okay, that's pretty well, that's something really wise, really intelligent, I consider. So it's just well, that's a good point, okay, to have a positive mind or to have positive thoughts. It's a good thing or something that can help you uh, to overcome that situation, okay? Then maybe you will need some other things because, well, as you know, since you are in an island, well, it is supposed that you are in an island, so you will need to have food, to have something to drink. I consider everybody that we need to think about the necessities that we could have during the time that we could be in an island. Today, why did I ask you this question, everybody? Because today we are going to talk about necessities, okay? We will talk about modal verbs of necessity. Remember, guys, at the beginning of the class, I told you that today we will practice some modals. And some of the modals that we are going to practice are about necessity. That's why, everybody, we are going to start with our first part. Let's pay attention to the modals we're going to study. Well, everybody pay attention to Javier. Javier, please help me reading the information on the slide.
Sure. Modals. Modal verbs are a special kind of helping verbs. They help the main verbs to express the mood of the subject.
Okay, now, as you can see, we have, well, in today's class, we will study two types of modals, necessity and suggestion, okay? Let's pay attention to Marcela. Marcela, what are the modals for necessity? Hi, Marcela.
Repeat, teacher.
Read the modals for necessity, the blue.
Okay. Okay. Necessity. Need to, must, have to, not have to.
Okay, very good. So we have these ones, well, these ones need to, must, have to, not have to. Now, Brian, what are the modals for suggestion?
Okay. Suggestion. A shall not, ought to, had better.
Well done, okay? As you can see today, the modals, well, first of all, guys, they have or they express the mood of a subject, okay? So they will express everybody, in some cases necessity, in some cases we will express suggestions, okay, or advice. Now, pay attention to it. They are always followed by the simple form of a verb or the base form of the verbs, okay? Right now, everybody, we will start paying attention to necessity, okay? We have to speak about the necessity models. And the first one, everybody, is need to, okay? This is the most common, everybody, because of course, we are talking about necessity. And need to, guys, express the idea in a simple way, okay? Please pay attention to Brian. Brian, help me with the structure and example.
Okay, necessity. Need to plus verb in past form. Example, you need to get the cabin backing to travel to a foreign country.
Nice, okay? Everybody, pay attention to it. I told you that need to, it's the simple way to show necessity. Of course, because of the meaning of need. Need, well, the meaning is that one, necessity. Of course, everybody, it's understandable and it's easier, it's easy to use, okay? Pay attention to the example. You need to get the COVID vaccine to travel to a foreign country. In this case, everybody, as you know, if you want to go to a different country, for example, even if you want to go to Guatemala or you want to go to the United States, nowadays you need to have the COVID vaccine. If you have 3 or 4, I don't remember if you can have 5 even, but okay, you need to be vaccinated or to get vaccinated. That's why, everybody, we talk about necessity. Remember, need to, it's a simple verb that we can use to talk about necessity. Also, guys, there are some other models that we can use to express necessity, okay? Pay attention to the following. Okay, give me a second. Let's see. Right now, let's pay attention to the use of must, okay? Must, as you can see, we can use it for necessity or obligation. It depends on the context of the sentence. Marcela, help me with the structure and the 2 examples.
Okay, necessity obligation. The structure is must plus verb in base form. That means a strong and formal obligation or necessity, possibly based on the speaker's opinion. For instance, you must take your medicine before hanging out with friends. And the second one, they must come to visit me when they're in town.
Okay, thank you, Marcela, for reading this information. Welcome, Edith, to our class. Okay, pay attention to the use of must or the 2 main uses of must in this opportunity. The first one, everybody, it's a strong and formal obligation. The next one, everybody, is a necessity, okay? Something that you need to do at a specific moment. For example, okay, you must take your medicine before hanging out with friends. What do you think? Let me see, Edith. Okay, I want to ask a question to Edith. Edith, in the first example, what do you think that it's the meaning? You must take your medicine before hanging out with friends. Do you think this is an obligation or this is a necessity?
This is unnecessary.
This is a necessity. Okay, very good, great opinion. It could be, everybody, a necessity or an obligation. Remember that an obligation, it's something that you have to do if you want or not. So you don't have any other optional, guys. This is something mandatory. So it can have a little bit of both, okay? It could be a necessity because you, in the case you are sick, or it can also be an obligation because of the same situation, okay? Right now, pay attention to the second example. They must come to visit me when they are in town. Okay, let's see. What do you think, Brian? Is the second example an obligation or a necessity?
Is an necessity?
Necessity? Okay,
Yes.
maybe it's possible. Okay,
Because
as
es que, I don't know. I think a obligation is maybe it's como important. I don't know. It's more strong for me. Obligation about necessary, but I don't know. Is correct or not?
well, you are right. You are right in what you mentioned, Brian. An
Okay.
obligation, as I told you, it's something mandatory, okay? Because you don't have any other option. But necessity is something that you consider by yourself that you have to do. In that case, you don't need a reminder, for example. So you know, Brian, that you have to take a shower every day. You don't need a reminder. It's a necessity to take a shower. It's a necessity to drink water. It's a necessity to eat. So those are necessities. You don't need a reminder. However, okay, we have these examples. An obligation, as you know, it's something mandatory. So in that case, of course, you will need, in some cases, you will need someone to tell you to do something, okay? So you are right, Brian. I really like this one. They must come to visit me when they are in town. It could be a necessity. It depends on the context of the sentence. But remember also, we mentioned something important. The necessity possibly based on the speaker's opinion. So, as I mentioned, guys, right now, we don't have to focus too much in the meaning, if it is for obligation or necessity. But it will depend on the opinion of the person who says the sentence, okay? That's why I ask you, maybe some of you can take it as an obligation. Some others can take it as a necessity. It will depend on the opinion of the person who is speaking. In some cases, as I mentioned, it is understandable that it's not an obligation because it's something that you for sure have to do, okay? But in some other cases, maybe you will need a reminder. That's why we can use must for some strong and formal obligations, okay? Let's continue. Remember, guys, in this opportunity, the main focus of these models is for necessity. In this case, when we use must, we can also talk about obligation. And the next one, everybody, that can also be taken as necessity and obligation is have to and not have to. Remember, guys, let's pay attention to this. Well, in this opportunity, I have Maria in the class. So Maria, help me reading the information of the slide, please.
Okay, have to, no have to, plus verb in verb form. It's used for strong external obligations. Only that?
Can you help me with the affirmative examples?
Okay. I have to wear a security belt when I travel by car. And she has to wear a face mask at the school.
Thank you. Okay. In this opportunity, guys, have to and not have to are used mainly for obligation, not necessity in this case, guys, but for obligation. Listen to it. This the use of have to in affirmative or negative is used for strong external obligations. So these obligations, guys, are not based on my opinion. These obligations are not based in what I think is correct. These obligations, guys, are external obligations. For example, rules that we have in different places. For example, if you have classes, at least everybody, in this English class, what are the rules that we have? First of all, guys, be on time. Number 2, practice English. Number 3, I don't remember. Okay, number 3, guys, have your materials ready. Always have your notebook or your pen and pencil to take notes, okay? And of course, everybody participate in class in English, okay? So, as you see, you can create an example. I have to speak English in this class because one of the rules is practice English during the class, okay? You can speak Spanish, well, in another time or before we start the class, so you can speak Spanish. But once we start the class, in that moment, guys, we have to practice our English. Those are, everybody, external obligations because there are rules, or we have rules that we have to follow, okay? That's an external obligation. Rules that society put to some people or to everybody in society. For example, she has to wear a face mask at school. Nowadays, everybody, this is not, well, we are not in the same COVID situation, but there was a time when all people have to wear a face mask everywhere. If you were at the supermarket, if you were at the church, if you were at school or at university, you had to wear your face mask. Nowadays, as I said, the situation is a little bit different, okay? Now it's optional if you want to wear it or not. But there was a time when there was an obligation to do it. Not only because of your opinion, it was mainly because of external obligations that we have, okay? Now, we have Juan over here. Hello, Juan, how are you today?
Really sorry, a little late.
Oh, don't worry, okay? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your attendance. Well, Juan, can you help me with the negative example for today?
And we don't have to frame in a museum.
Nice. Okay, thank you for your reading. As you can
Scream is like yell, right?
Yes, that's correct. This is a scream.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so you don't have to be noisy in a museum, right? Even in the library, you can't scream over there. So these are everybody external obligations. You have specific rules to follow depending on the place you are. We don't have to scream in a museum. That's external obligation because this is not based on your opinion. This is based on the rules of the museum. The museum said, don't scream. So you know, you don't have to scream in the museum. Okay, you have to be quiet or speak a little quiet. So that's something important, guys. Remember, just for you to remember about the necessity and obligation, when we use must, this is mainly about your opinion, your own opinion. It's used for obligation and necessity, but this is mainly based on your opinion. But have to or has to, everybody, it's mainly used for external obligations. For example, if you have to follow the rule of one place or the rules of the class, okay? Now, we will focus on the next models. Remember that today's class is about necessity and suggestion models and some examples of obligation. The common modal verb that we use for suggestions, everybody, is the use of should or shouldn't, depending on the sentence, if it is affirmative or negative. Right now, let's pay attention to Edith. Okay, Edith, help me reading the affirmative example.
Should plus verb in base form. You should take a photography course.
Thank you. Okay, this is one suggestion that you can make to one person that maybe really likes to take pictures. So you can suggest that person to take a photography course. Okay, this is kind of simple, everybody, because we are talking about should. Should is the main modal verb that we use for suggestions. If you are sick, so some people can make a suggestion using should. If you ask for advice, some people can give you advice or a suggestion using should or shouldn't. Okay, let's pay attention to the second example. Okay, please, Javier, help me right now with the negative example.
Okay, you shouldn't spend money on unnecessary items.
Thank you. Okay, that's good advice, everybody, when you go to Dollar City. Okay, so you shouldn't spend money on unnecessary items. Okay, sometimes when we have a lot of money, okay, we start well, spending our money, or in this case, wasting our money in things that we don't need. Okay, that's why we have this suggestion. Okay, you shouldn't spend money on unnecessary items. In some cases, guys, it's good to do it, okay? But try not to do it very often. Let's move to the next suggestion modal verb. And this one, everybody, is aura, okay? The pronunciation of this one is aura. Please, can you help me with this part, Brian?
Okay. You ought to stay at home to feel better.
And,
Or
oh, the two examples.
okay. Ought to plus verb in base form, formal. For example, you ought to take your ID card with you anywhere. Example 2, you ought to stay at home to feel better.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Brian, for your reading. Well, as you can see,
question.
Yes, tell me.
The pronunciation is right, ought to, or what?
Well,
What is the correct?
Well, good question, Brian. As I told you guys, the pronunciation is aura, aura,
Okay.
aura. Yes, it's more common that we use aura than out to, okay, because of the fluency. Remember that people, well, American people or native speakers don't speak with a lot of pauses. They don't speak like, I oughta take you your ID card with you anywhere. So they prefer to be more fluent, and they join two words in this case because we have a double T. So they prefer to link the two words, and the pronunciation will be at the end. The pronunciation will be oughta. Okay, you oughta take your ID card with you anywhere. Now, guys, you know, well, you always have to bring with you or take with you your DUI or your ID card everywhere. So if you go to the supermarket, if you go to the hospital, if you go to, well, to visit family, even, you need to have your ID card in some cases. So some people can ask you to have it, okay? And the other example, guys, it's a common suggestion that some people can make to anybody. You ought to stay at home to feel better. For example, guys, your boss can tell you you ought to stay at home to feel better. So if you are sick, not in all workplaces, but in some workplaces, your boss or your supervisor or coordinator can ask you to stay at home to feel better, to take some medicine, to visit the doctor. So you can have different suggestions from a person that maybe it's in a higher level than you. Remember that aura is not very common because it's formal, okay? We will only use aura in formal situations. In formal situations. For example, if you are talking to a friend, we are not going to use aura, okay? Why not? Because aura, it's formal, and you don't talk in a formal way with your friends, right? So in that case, it's better if we use should, okay? Remember that should is the common way, and it's not formal, but not that informal either. Okay, so remember, ahora is mostly for formal situations. Tell me, Javier, do you have any comment or question?
Yes, I have a comment.
Oh.
For example, well, I think ahora is similar with should.
Yes,
For
actually,
example,
yeah, continue.
you should stay home to feel better. It's similar
Yeah,
with you ahora to stay home at home to feel better.
you are right, okay? You are right, Javier. Actually, they are the same. What is the difference? The difference is that should is a common way, a common expression or a common model verb that people use for making suggestions. Ahora has the same meaning, but it's formal, okay? That's the single difference that should and ahora have. But the meaning is the same, okay? Okay, well done. Okay, guys, right now, let's move to the next part. Oh, let me see. Yeah, we have the last part, everybody. And this is not a modal verb, but it's an expression that we can use, everybody, at the moment of making suggestions, okay? Let's see. I want to listen to Juan in this part. Okay, Juan, help me reading the structure and the two examples, please.
Okay. Had better transfer in base form. He had better take instructions into account. The second one is use better about the street.
Okay, thank you for reading the two examples. As you can see, this is, well, I mentioned that this is not a modal verb that we can use. This is not a modal verb, but this is expression that we can use for making suggestions. The first example, he had better take instructions into account. Okay, as you can see, this is not, well, this is not an expression that we use in a formal situation. Actually, this is another common way to make suggestions, okay? It's not formal, but, well, this is not formal at all, but this is not too informal, okay? It's only a common expression that we can use. The next example, you had better avoid street food, okay? So if you think that some street food can cost you something in spatial, so it's better if you don't eat it, okay? So let's remember, everybody, this is another way that we can use, or this is another expression that we can use at the moment of making suggestions. Which is the most common expression? Should, okay? Had better is another option that we can have to make suggestions. And ahora, it's also possible, but remember, when we use ahora, it's mostly in formal situations. For example, if you are talking to your boss, to your coordinator or supervisor, if you are talking to one professor from university, so it's better if you, well, if you want to make a suggestion, it's better if you use ahora than should, okay? Try to be careful
Teacher,
with that. Yes, Juan?
I'm going to have another example.
Oh,
I think you can use ahora when if you don't meet to another person, right?
well, that's a good example. So if you don't know another person, or it's the first time you meet that person, so if you want to make a suggestion, it's better to use ahora. Well done. Okay, thank you, Juan, for your example. I completely forgot about that, but that's a good example. Okay, if you are talking to a person for the first time or to a stranger, so it's better if you use ahora in those examples or in those cases. Okay. In this moment, everybody, we will continue practicing. Well, it's time to practice right now and to put into practice the grammar that we learned. Remember that in necessity and obligation, we can use, we can use need to or have to or even, guys, we can use, well, give me a second. For necessity and obligation, we can use, well, the common one, need to. Then we can use must for your opinion, obligation, or necessity, and have to for external obligations. And then everybody, in suggestion, we can use should, the common way. Then we can use oughta in a formal situation, and we can use had better for suggestions in general, okay? Let's pay attention, everybody, to our first activity, okay? We will talk about, give me a second, what is happening? Okay, we will talk about models of necessity. We will use must, have got to, and have to. Pay attention to it, everybody. In this case, have got to and have to, they are, or they have the same meaning, okay? Okay, they have the same meaning. What is the difference between have and have to? Have got to is more informal, okay? So they have the same meaning, but it's considered that have got to is more informal than have to. I mentioned this, everybody, because in the during the class we didn't study that expression, have got to, but it has the same meaning than have to. Okay, the only thing is that is more informal. Okay, we will check the following 8 answers. Give me a second. We will check the following 8 answers, and then everybody, we will check if they are correct or not, okay? Let's pay attention to our first example. To start, let's pay attention to Marcela. Okay, Marcela, tell me, what is the correct sentence?
In order to log onto the internet, and Sally has got to entering her user ID.
Okay, Marcela,
I
that
think.
was a good example. Let's check together if this is correct. Dun, 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 dun. No, after modal verbs, we never use ing. Remember, one characteristic that modal verbs have is that we always use a verb in base form, okay? After all the expressions that we learn, need to, have to, in this case, have got to, also, after must, after should, after oughta, we always use verbs in base form. So in their normal form. Okay, Marcela, you have another opportunity, but now you have only 2 options. Which is the correct sentence for Sally? Or what is the correct expression or the correct answer for Sally? Have to enter, Sally have to enter, or Sally must enter?
I don't know, because how we don't use their person,
Very good.
but I think must
Must.
enter.
Very good. Okay. Must enter. Okay, pretty good. Great. That's the right answer. In this case, it's necessary. Okay, remember that we use must for obligations that you think in your own opinion, and also for some necessities. In this case, if you want to enter to a website on the internet, so you need to enter your let's see, your user. Okay, for example, if you want to log in to the speak platform, I'm sorry, to the speak platform, you must enter your ID, your user, and also your password. That's why it's must. Okay, let's pay attention to our second example. Tell me, Edith, what is the correct sentence number 2?
According to the law, drivers must stop at stop sign.
Very good. Okay, that's the right answer. You are right. Okay, stop, sorry, drivers must stop at stop signs. Well done. Let's continue with number 3. Well, number 3, everybody, as you can see, we have to pay attention to two different answers. Okay, let's see. Maria is going to be my volunteer. Thank you, Maria. Tell me now, what is example number 3?
Okay, teacher. Friend, wait to see the dark machine. Shoot.
Pay to see the doctor.
I think letter A.
Letter A. Can you read the complete conversation?
Okay. Friend, must your sister pay this to see the doctor? And brother, no, she mustn't because she has medical insurance.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, sorry, we don't use must in question first in North America. Mustn't means she's not allowed to pay. Okay, but now tell me what could be the next answer. Pay attention to the questions in this case.
Okay, letter B.
Letter B. Does your sister have to pay to see the doctor? No, she doesn't because she has medical insurance. Okay? Good. Okay. Your subjects and verbs all agree here. So very good. This is better. Okay. Remember that have to, it's an obligation. But, well, since she has a medical insurance, so she doesn't have to pay for the medical service, right? Very good. Thank you, Maria, for your answer. Well, guys, I'm really happy that we don't have to click on all the answers, okay? Maybe you have made mistakes, but we have also learned. Pay attention to Javier in example number 4. Tell me, Javier, what is the correct answer?
Okay. Let me think.
Oops.
Well, I think letter C.
Okay.
No. Letter A. Letter A.
Can you read the complete conversation?
So, okay. Mom, I don't want to clean my room. Do I have to clean it right now?
And yes, right now. Okay, so yes, that's an obligation. So this is the best form for obligation. Okay, well done. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Javier, because your answer was the correct one. And of course, have I to clean is not correct. You know that I have to continue using or keep using the structure of simple present. Pretty good. Okay, Brian, it's your moment. Help me with example number 5 about Mr. Wu.
Okay. Mr. Wu. Hi, Mark. Where is your dad? Mark. Oh, he must go to work because there was an emergency.
Okay, he mustard?
Yes.
Let's check. Sorry, the past tense of must is had to. Actually, the modal verbs don't have past form. The only one that I consider that have is can, so the past is could. But must maybe the interpretation that we can do from must into past is had to. So now,
Okay.
what could be the right answer?
If I had how to go.
Had to go. Okay. Yes, well done. Okay. In this case, everybody, had got is not very common that we use it in past. Try to use it only in present. Okay. Have got to or has got to. But in past, no, it's not correct. Okay. Well done. Everybody, let's pay attention to example number 6. Juan, what is the correct sentence?
Okay. 6, right?
Yes, 6.
When a police officer asks to see your driver's license, you that is obligation. Is he must to show it to him.
Okay, let's check. Okay, no, must is never followed by to. Remember
yeah,
that?
yes, right, it's right, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I know, you know, in this case, have got to show it. Letter C.
Letter
Have got to
C?
show it.
Are you sure?
Yes. No, the first one. Have to go to show it. Yeah.
Why do you think it's the first one?
The letter A. This is the have to go to show it. Yes.
Okay, let's see. Yes, this means you must show it, okay? Well, that was a tricky, well, most of the examples I consider that the answers are tricky because in some cases you can get confused because of the structure of this sentence. But remember, okay, remember the correct structure and avoid those tricky examples. So very good one. That was really nice. Let's see. Everybody pay attention to the last two exercises that we have, the last two sentences. Okay, we will do it all together. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, yes. We will do it all together. So let's pay attention to our answers. You have to tell me what is the correct answer. If you have a pet dog, you feed it every day it will die. So what do you think? You have got or have got to? Okay, Juan says letter C. What do you think, guys?
Letter C, right?
Letter C.
Letter C, Javier? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, okay, 3 people said letter C, so yes, guys. Great, this is the same as you must feed it. So, good job. And the last one, if Richard wants to become a professional musician, he every day. What is the right answer? Has to practice, have to practice, or has to practice?
Letter A.
Has to practice.
Letter A, of course, everybody. So yes, that's correct. So your subject and verb agree. Remember, the correct form is always has, not has. Okay, well done, everybody. I'm really happy that we answer all the all the questions or all the sentences in the correct way. Okay, you can see that we answered 4 questions out of 8 correctly in the first time. But as I mentioned, guys, I'm really happy that we didn't have to click on all the answers to know what was the correct. Okay, that's something good that you can check, everybody, that even though we make mistakes, we are correcting the mistakes at the moment. Okay, please continue working in that way. And right now, I don't know if we are going to finish with the activity because it's almost time to go. But let's try to practice the use of the suggestions, okay? Making suggestions. But give me a second. Okay. Let's see if it is long or not. Well, as you can see, everybody, we will only complete. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, it's a kind of long, but we will try to focus on the first activity. For each situation, write a sentence with should or shouldn't and the following. Okay, as you can see, we have 6 situations that we have to use in our suggestions using should or shouldn't. Okay, for example, we have the first sentence. Pay attention to it. Liz needs a change. She should go away for a few days. Okay? That's, well, that's the first example. As you can see, we have go away for a few days. Tell me, please, what is the correct sentence or the correct advice that we can give? Okay, let's start with Brian. Brian, John always has difficulty getting up. So what can we suggest?
Sorry, you repeat me, please?
Yes, okay. Example number, example letter B.
Example letter B.
John always has difficulty getting up. What is the correct suggestion? Using should or shouldn't?
I don't know.
Look at the options, okay? The options that we have.
It should.
He should.
Oh my God. I don't know what.
Shouldn't.
Okay, Juan, that's a good one. He shouldn't. Okay. If he has difficulty to get up in the morning, remember in the morning, so he doesn't want to get up, he wants to continue sleeping. So what can we suggest to John?
Go to bed late.
Ah, very good. So what is the complete sentence, Brian? He shouldn't
go to bed so late.
Nice. Okay, that's the correct, well, the correct advice we can give. Okay, thank you, Brian. Let's continue with Maria. Okay, Maria, Mary's living room isn't very interesting. So what can you suggest?
Okay. Mary's living room isn't very interesting. Put some picture on the walls.
Oh, can you tell me the complete sentence? She?
Oh, she should
She should?
put some picture on the walls.
Very good. She should put some pictures. Put pictures on the wall. Okay, that was excellent. Thank you. Well done, Maria. What about Javier? Example letter D. What a beautiful view. What can you suggest?
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Letter D.
Yes,
Okay,
letter D.
What a beautiful view. You should take a photograph.
Very good. You should take a photograph. Okay. Very good. Great example, Javier. And that was fast. Thank you. Okay. One example letter E. His salary is very low. What can you suggest?
He should look for another job.
Yes, okay. That's a great suggestion. He should look for another job. Okay, well done. And let's see the last example, okay? We will do it all together. So Sarah drives everywhere. She never walks, okay? What can you suggest to Sarah? She should or she shouldn't?
Shouldn't.
Yes, okay. She shouldn't use her car so much, okay? This is the first part of this exercise, everybody. I will try to send you the link of this activity for you, everybody, to complete the next exercises. It can help you, everybody, to practice the grammar that we learned and also to understand better the, all what we have learned, okay? Just before we go, everybody, I have to show you what is our homework. In this opportunity, guys, we are starting unit 4. It means, everybody, that we have to complete the following activities. Please, everybody, let's start with activity 4.0 over here, hit the road. Okay, start with that activity. And, well, at least for tomorrow, guys, try to stop in activity 4.2.3, that it's a conversation, okay? Please continue working on the platform, guys. I'm really happy for the ones who already got 50%. Me alegra los que alcanzaron el 50% de actividades en la plataforma, guys. Continúen para que al terminar esta semana tengamos el 75%, okay? It was really nice to see you guys and to listen to your participations. I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
Okay, good night, everybody.